Hi friends, we finally have our response from Nikki Thought with respect to the video her ex-husband did. So let us get into the video. So she says, I made a video responding to the allegations and was ready to press post, but for the sake of our children, I'm not going to engage in a back and forth online. I will share context that was missing from his video and leave this subject alone. I have had no contact with him since he posted that video, nor have I threatened legal action. Jamie removed the video simply because he saw people were not buying it. I felt something wasn't right in my marriage, but I didn't know what I was experiencing. Then in June 2019, I came across the podcast Love and Abuse, where I discovered what emotional abuse was. I made the mistake of telling him I knew it was emotionally abusive and probably a covert knack. I never cheated on Jamie and he knows that. But he was quick to run a smear campaign through the community about why we broke up. I want to make it very clear that what you witnessed was reactive. The clips you saw were carefully edited and didn't show what led to me smacking the phone out of his hand. Never have I punched this man or thrown heavy objects at him during our disagreement. I came to the house to collect some clothes. I wanted to have a conversation. He kept calling me a slut and to get out of his house. I then requested that he drop the girls at the supermarket car park for changeover, and he says he would rather do it at a police station. This wasn't court ordered. At this point, I'm highly upset because why would you want to inflict that trauma on our daughters, having changed over with their parents at a police station every week? He just wanted to manipulate their minds and paint the picture that mom was so dangerous and dad needed protection. I smacked the camera out of his hand because I was in a vulnerable moment and didn't want to be recorded. This was a pattern where he constantly violated me by filming me without consent. It started early at 18. Then when I gave birth, he posted my very personal birth vlogs without giving me any time to emotionally recover. I remember begging him to give me time with our new baby before we shared her with the world, but he told me to stop sabotaging the channel. When the cameras were rolling, Jamie was very sweet to me, but behind the lens, he was highly critical. My body after children quickly became a main topic, and he expressed me needing to hit the gym 3 weeks postpartum with Ava. He would repeatedly comment on my stretch mark and loose skin, asking me why I couldn't just snap back. He blamed me for absolutely everything. Nothing I could do was right, and I was at fault for anything that went wrong in his life. Shortly after that encounter, he tried to get a restraining order on me. Not only did he put himself down as a protected person, but also our 2 young daughters. If he was successful in obtaining that, I could not come within 200 meters of them. His mother enabled his behavior and signed as a witness that she saw me beating him up in front of the children, the clip you saw of me smacking the phone, and took this evidence to court. I put a counter complaint on him and it was up to the judge to decide. He knows there's nothing I love more than our daughters, so he's using that footage to silence me. We never went before a judge. Instead, he had his lawyer present an undertaking, which conveniently included that the children could continue being filmed for YouTube. It also included that we couldn't mention one another or our relationship online for 12 months. We both signed it because I had no intention of making this public and didn't want to risk the chance of not seeing our daughters. He has been free to speak on this since 2020. So she puts the picture of the undertaking. I hope you guys can see it and the different terms of the undertaking that they both signed. So these are other conditions that are in your undertaking shall apply, except I can't really read it. If you guys can see it, please check on it. So she continues and says that I never kept him from the kids. I said you can see them whenever you want. All I asked is that he stopped exploiting them. I saw how it affected me in marriage, and I didn't want our kids to suffer the same confusion because dad was totally different when the cameras were on. In 2020, Jamie messaged my sister and was trying to get me back once he saw his views were still low, despite using the kids for the majority of his content. I had already filed for divorce, but he wanted me to change my mind. He came to my parents' house, we went for a walk, and he told me he wanted his family back. I said no. Our divorce was finalized in December of 2020. Since then, I have been negotiating their online presence and managed to get it down to one video a week featuring the kids. This was across all platforms, including YouTube, TikTok, and IG. I worked very hard to lower their online presence because I saw how it affects them. I initially agreed to filming with the kids as long as he pays them a percentage, but he refused that offer. He claims I was vengeful, but after I left, he stole the channel, changed passwords to business emails so that I couldn't work with past clients, and changed our bank details on AdSense so that the revenues from our past vlogs went to his personal accounts. He kept the vlogs for himself, leaving me with zero memories of our children. I requested my full bed videos, but he kept them from me for 3.5 years. He used this as leverage so that I changed my stance on him making content with the girls. Part of the reasons I vlogged was to have a memory diaries of our babies as they grew, but he kept this from me too. I even asked for footage of my sister Sarah. He had all the hard drives. He told me they were destroyed. Please keep in mind my sister isn't alive anymore, and they were the only videos of her I had to look back and remember her. He knew our children and my sister were a sensitive spot for me, so he would use these two things to control me. Jamie's health issues never stopped him from partying with friends, never stopped him from taking trips overseas while I looked after our children. When I did ask for assistance, he would throw it in my face that I was the one who wanted kids. So I find it interesting that he claims he is too sick to work a regular job. I even gave him ideas on what he could film. I told him he could make video editing content as he's a great editor, or work a traditional job. I am not limiting his capacity to earn. I simply put my foot down and said don't exploit our children for monetary gain like he did with me. Jamie kept dragging me back to court and writing complaints to my lawyers constantly. The legal fees he incurred were self-inflicted. His 40th birthday. On Jamie's birthday, the girl had school. They mentioned dad was going to Sydney for his birthday. He was aware she had a dental emergency, so I took the next available appointment, which happened to fall on a Friday. I offered for him to take them instead as it was an emergency, and he said he would rather take them out for ice cream so he doesn't miss his flight. The appointment was at 5 p.m. I picked the girls up from the local ice cream place at 4:40 and we went to our appointment. Jamie then left for the airport at 5 p.m. to catch a flight to Sydney. The dad playgroup. At this point of co-parenting, I had reached my tolerance and wanted minimal in-person contact with him for the sake of Ava and Zoe. He would always have his phone out trying to bait a disagreement with me because I didn't want them to be used in content. I asked him to put Zoe in school on a Wednesday so I could completely avoid contact with him. One parent drops them off and the other one picks them up. This seemed like a great solution, but of course, he fought me on this too. Had there been work obligations restricting him from changing his schedule, I would completely understand, but there wasn't. He had only been to this playgroup one time. He could have made other arrangements for the sake of healthy co-parenting. Disney. I had to take legal actions for my girls to even attend school at their ages. In Australia, you start school at 5 or 6, depending on how early in the year you were born. Jamie wanted them to delay another year so he could milk them for views while they were in his care. I said no. We lived in Australia and California was a very far flight, and had he had never taken them out of the country alone. I didn't want them to go, but I offered to come so the girls didn't miss out on the experience. But he knew if I was there, I wouldn't like him filming them as much, so he made co-parenting the issue. I wanted to put our issues aside and give the girls some happy memories with both parents. I brought up the matter of schooling because he took me back to court and forced me to send these girls to this very expensive private school. This was his request, and I am now responsible for their expenses. Depression is not something I would ever take lightly. The comments I made on the recorded audio were not okay. Before he pressed record, he was calling me crazy and said I needed psychiatric help, threatening to take full custody of our kids, so I stooped to his level. This isn't an excuse, and I apologize if this statement caused offense to anyone. Long story short, this is a very manipulative and calculated attack on not only myself, but this act will cause collateral damage to our two children. This was a 4-year-old clip, and now these clips will remain online forever. I have moved on with my life. I'm in a loving, genuine relationship, and I'm finally at peace. This smear campaign was made to not only garner sympathy from his audience, but to revive a stagnant YouTube channel, sell an unreleased children's book, and completely slander my reputation. Jamie wanted revenge for me putting my foot down and restricting how often he posts the girl online. It disheartens me that I need to even make this statement, because most people with discernment can see it for what it was. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to read. To Eva and Zoe, I am sorry. You all, I'm glad Nikki has responded. Okay, so I want to know, Team Nikki, Team Jamie, what do you guys think about this response? Do you guys think it's weak, or do you think that, okay, Nikki, you have some great points here? I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. The first thing I want to say is that thank you, Nikki, for the avenue you chose to respond. Like, I commend her for not doing the video, because if she had done the video, the back and forth, all this, all that, and all of that. But now, would this is subject to everybody's interpretation, right? But I would like to know, there's some questions I'll just have. Why did Jamie accuse you of cheating? Why did Jamie accuse Nikki of cheating? Because Nikki in her statement said that I have never cheated on this man during our relationship, and he knows. So where did Jamie bring out this story from? Is it a fiction? Is it his imagination? Is it a figment of his imagination, or did it really happen? Because in Jamie's video, he said that in the first year of their marriage, she had an affair with her ex, and Nikki is saying, I never cheated on Jamie. Okay, I like to know, you guys, because now I'm confused. Okay, yeah. That being said, some things that Nikki said in her statement really broke me. Begging for privacy after she had her child, and Jamie putting it out there. Like, for me, when I saw that, I was like, oh wow. And he body shaming her after having children. Look, that's low. That's really, 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 really low. And somebody said something in my comment section in one of the videos and said that people change in marriages, and it was obvious that after Nikki had her first child, she actually changed. And thinking about from Nikki's perspective now, look at, like, your wife just had a baby, right? And every normal person knows that a woman who just had a child is healing, depending on how she had her child, whichever method, whether it's vagina or through cesarean or section. It is a traumatic experience. Like, You are not the same person you were before you give birth. You become a totally different person. Your body has changed, your voice has changed, everything about you changes. You're not the same person anymore. So I can relate with Nikki being in such a vulnerable state, and somebody is putting camera on my face like, you want look, and she said she never gave him permission to do all of that consent. I'm wondering, wow, that's another conversation that Nikki is saying she didn't give Jamie the consent to post those videos at the time. So Jamie went ahead, according to Nikki, to post that in order to make money. Then there's another thing she said, you guys, that I'm like, what? That after they broke up, he changed the passwords of their YouTube channel, changed everything, and was collecting funds for the videos that they created together. Wow. Jamie Perkins. And you came out looking like you are a victim. I kept saying that let's hear from both sides, okay? Because everybody will come and show the good side of themselves. They don't talk about what they did that was wrong. How do you do that? And when he saw that people were watching their channel because of Nikki, can you imagine? Such a manipulative person. He goes back to her after they finalize the divorce and says, I want to get back to you. Anyway, Team Jamie, what do you people have to say about that? Because look, the guy is manipulative at this point. I think he's super, super manipulative, and everything, all his moves has been about money. Jamie can actually make money from other sources, from other ideas of videos. I remember saying that in one of my videos, of which Nikki has also said the same thing, that she even gave him ideas on other forms of videos that he could do. Wow. So the whole marriage relationship, I know one thing I didn't in my other videos that I didn't think about was the age difference between Jamie and Nikki. I'm not one of those people that say, "Oh, he groomed her." No, I don't think so. Okay, because at 18 you're an adult, really, in a lot of cultures. But Jamie is 10 years older than Nikki, which presupposes that he should be more matured. Okay, and his game plan keeps pointing to the fact that this person is not matured. And something Nikki said, he said, you claim you have health issues, but it didn't stop you from partying. It didn't stop you from traveling while I was the one taking care of the children. And when it's now your turn to take care of the children, you now remember you have health issues. You guys, it's going to, I don't know whether Jamie is going to come back and respond. I remember I was asking that, what is Jamie hiding? Why did he private that video that he did? Because Nikki has said, I didn't reach out to him, my lawyers didn't reach out to him, so why did he bring it down? Because I don't know, Team Jamie, why did he bring it down? Because the speculation was that, oh, probably Nikki sent her lawyers to him and all of that, but she has said she didn't do any of that. Jamie, and he has a book he wants to release, a children's book he wants to really. So he did all of this to whip up people's sentiments, okay, to revive his channel, because now everybody's like, oh, Jamie, Nikki has been so cruel, this, that, oh, she's so bad, she's a black lady, black people are bad, and all of that. It's not even funny, you guys. It is not funny at all. But I'm glad Nikki has said her piece, right? And it is documented that, because some people will keep quiet and not say anything and leave everything to people's interpretation. But she has said her piece, okay? She has said her own side, how the video, the clips that we watched, was she was being reactive, and she also explained, one part a lot of people have raised about her talking about his depression, and she also mentioned what he said before that, because a lot of people kept raising the fact that how come we did not hear the full conversation, how come it was convenient for Jamie to cut out what he said before she responded. It was really, really convenient for him to do that. Now we know that Jamie said a lot of trashy things to Nikki, and that's what made her respond that way. Anyway, I would like to hear Team Jamie, Team Nikki, what do you all have to say about the new response? But what I would like to conclude this video by saying is that people split every time. But can we be matured? Can we read the room and consider that there are two little beautiful girls involved, and not try to exploit those girls for our own personal benefits like their father is doing? And I think, to be honest, Nikki has done well protecting those girls. That's my own personal opinion. But I'd like to hear what you all have to say. And I pray that the both of them sort out themselves amicably. If we get any new story, I'm going to come up and give you guys the new story. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and support me by giving me a super thanks if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.